Hello, ladies and gentlemen. CaptainShack here, and welcome back to Space Engineers. Today, we are looking at 3 separate Venators. I'm standing on the bridge of one of them right now. 3 separate Venators that are on the workshop. Some of them have been out there for well over a year, and some, like the one that we see far over there on the right, the far distance, is brand new. And that's actually what inspired this video, was to look at all the Venators that had come out. Now, we're not going to log at every single one, because it is an amazing Star Wars ship. I love the design. It's my favorite capital ship for the Star Wars universe. And there are quite a number of them actually on the workshop at varying degrees of quality. So these are just the 3 that we're going to look at today. Now, there are a ton of mods installed on the server because all 3 of these are modded builds. But let's go ahead and find our way out of this Venator. And we'll start with the smallest of the 3, but not the least detail, which I think is the most interesting. All right, we've teleported ourselves out into space so we can take a look at the 3 ships. So let's go through the ships real quick to see which ones we're going to be looking at. On the left-hand side is the one that has inspired today's build. If we open up the workshop, these are really cool. We may look at these at some time later, Imperial construction modules, but the ship that we're actually going to be looking at, if we zoom through, we'll open this up. We're going to be looking at KDYs. Now, KDY has done a ton of different builds in the Star Wars universe, but look at all the mods that this one takes. All right, and this isn't even beginning to be the top of it. Now, this is supposed to be a 1-to-1 representation. It's about 137 meters long in length. Yeah, it's a 1-to-1 representation of how big a Star Destroyer actually is. So that's the one that inspired all of this. But actually, the first one we're going to look at is the smallest of the 3 because, and this is Sauron's build. Oh man, I had to turn that one and that one into a space station just to keep the frames up high enough to do something. To be able to like move with 60 FPS. It's actually running pretty well for having these ginormous ships in here. But Sauron, so this is the smallest of the 3, but as you can see, not nearly, it doesn't lack in detail, and that's impressive, because normally the bigger you can get, the more detail you can get. Now, the most impressive part of this whole build that I love so much, if we zoom over to the back, is the engine modules, and how he's just detailed these with blast door blocks. He's got bits of, what are those, welded down, grinded down wheels in there, and some of the pillar blocks to give these some detail. And there aren't any mods in there. Those are just straight up vanilla builds for these engine mods. And oh god, they look great. This is the most impressive part to me, is just how well he made these engines. But thankfully, he has set up backdoors into the bridge and the air traffic control section. I don't remember which one's which in lore, but we're just gonna jump into one of these so we can play around with some of the options. So, sealing up the airlock that he's got set up, though there are a lot of mods for Sauron's. Let's open up Sauron's page. Let's see exactly. He's only using 2 mods for these, so you're gonna notice vanilla blocks everywhere. He's got the Star Wars weapon pack and the turbo laser pack, which all the other ones are using as well. There's our way down to the rest of the ship. So if we want to get down to like the main hangar, engine base, all that we can. Some crew stations back here, probably to run the guns, you would imagine, or ship systems. Let's get to the front, though. And the best part about being on a Venator is being able to look out over the hull. The Venator on our right here, we'll have to take a look at it later, but it's got windows right where the turrets are, and it's one of my favorite views. It really is good. So let's check out the main hangar. Now, I think this is the only one that doesn't have, we're gonna go to spectator mode for a second, that doesn't have a main hangar door that opens on the top. Due to the fact that basically you're gonna need mods to make this usable. You could use hangar blocks, vanilla hangar blocks, but they're not wide enough. They give you enough clearance. They also wouldn't match the vibe for this thing because of the way they paint. So this one doesn't have an opening top hangar, unless he's using some kind of piston system, but it looks like those are completely sealed if we zoom in here. Also, with this build, sadly, look at the hangar though. The hangar looks so good in here. Sadly, it does have hidden thrusters, which with vanilla blocks, you pretty much need to if you're gonna make this thing actually movable. Had they burned a hole through the bottom? Yeah, they burned a hole through the bottom because I hadn't had thruster damage turned off. So there might be a little bit of damage on the ship. But let's go ahead and zoom through a little bit of the hangar bay. Now, in a Venator, you'd see things like ARC 170s, you'd see LATs in here, you'd see E2As. In this one, of course, we don't have any fighters in any of the ships. They are all empty. I do like the way he's got these hangars set up, though I'm a little surprised he's not rocking the dual connection points. Basically, he's got connectors only, no landing gear. I always like to have landing gear somewhere, but it looks good in here. Oh, he does have them. He's got landing gear back here. So if you're using a ship that, say, runs off of pure uranium, it's not going to have a connector. It may not have a connector. You can hook on with the landing gear there, lock them down as you travel. It does have some hangars, port and starboard. Doesn't have the bottom bay hangar You know, there were sacrifices for building at this scale. Instead of having that bottom bay hanger, he actually has this, which is interesting. He's got like an ISD style hanger. It just kind of, oh, it just ends. I thought this might be like an opening sliding blast door block, but apparently not. Apparently there's an atmospheric engine on the other side of that. Interesting. Huh, and then there's a lot of just subspace in here for more atmo thrusters, so this thing will probably fly in atmosphere, and lots of gyros because it's massive. Also a ton of jump drive blocks. Get that distance and that range in there. But there you go, guys. There's the first one, the smallest one. So let's go ahead and look at an older one real quick. We're gonna zoom in over here. Now, before we look at the one that inspired it all, this is another build that's supposed to be, if we zoom up here, it's supposed to be 1-to-1 scale. He says that one is on the money for the exact scale that it needs to be. And there are a couple different versions of the Venator in the, maybe not in the lore, but in the way that it's been represented in the Clone Wars and in the movies and some of the comics. It kind of varies in shape and it varies in length. Some of them have this much more pointed tip in the front, much more like an Arquintons, and some of them are a little bit more stubby, but they're both supposed to be 1-to-1. So you be the judge of that, whether or not they're about the same size. And they're close. They're close. Definitely the left one's way bigger. Let's zoom in though. So this one, you zoom out here. This one, if we open up the page for this, if you're looking for it and you want to try it out, it's jtreiman's. I've used this actually in battles a couple of times for videos. It's a pretty neat one. There's the list of mods, though. Many of these are very old mods, so bear in mind the functionality of which may not be great. This was posted back in January of last year. Okay, so we'll jump in there. The Colt Command Pack's in there, too. You'll notice there's going to be some shared mods between these two builds, because some blocks just work really well, like these blocks on the top. Let me teleport over here. And I didn't do it. Did I just fall through the roof? I did. As I said, with blocks, these, I believe, are modded blocks? Weird. I wonder if this is part of the, one of the mods that he's got here is invisible armor edges. I wonder if that has broken the colliding box on this. I shouldn't be able to do this. But speaking of mods that work really well, so this does have an opening hanger on the top. Let me see if this has a collision box. It does. This is actually using, let me open up the page real quick. He's actually using a mod that I haven't seen in a long time, retractable ramps as the hangar bay doors. And they work really, really well. They're low profile. He's got them kind of tiered here, so they'll go down with the shape of the hull. And let's go inside, and we can open those up. He's also using the turbo laser mod. Hopefully, we'll get an Armco version of the Venator turrets for the Rebel pack at some point. I think that'd be really cool. But we'll go on the inside. Now, he's not using, interestingly enough, or maybe he is, maybe they're off. Yeah, there's the tracks for it. The hangar bay, the force fields. I don't see a button for it. We probably have to go find them. Look at how huge this hangar is for just a moment, though. It's very dark. Lighting's a little off, but holy crap. We'll go over to the hangar bay. Zoom in up here, and you can just see, oh, he's got a lift. That's what this is. This must be a lift to bring vehicles up. This may actually open, too. Interesting. So, here's the hangar bay, though. Tons of space to hold whatever you want. So, all of your LATs, all of your Z95 headhunters, I think even my coffee hunter would fit inside here because they're wide enough, which is always the problem. I always like the Venator because it reminds me of somebody saying, hey, you know, what I really want is I want you to take a modern-day concept of an aircraft carrier, right? Yep, there's no collision for any of these blocks, any of the vanilla blocks. It must be that mod that takes out the edges. But I want an aircraft carrier, modern-day aircraft carrier, but I want something like brought into the Star Wars universe, inspired, brought into that kind of design philosophy. Okay, so you're gonna get this Star Destroyer-esque ship, but with a runway down the middle and all of these hangar ports. It looks great. Oh, it even has like a command and control area up here for the hangars as people launch out. This one's one of the older builds, so bear in mind, it may be missing a few things. Let's pop up to the bridge, and we'll open up the bay doors, and then we'll go look at the crazy build that's over there in the corner. So now here's a mod we haven't seen in a long time. I've actually used this. I think I spotlighted this when it first released, I think 4 or 5 years ago. It feels like forever. This mod is, if you're looking for it, is the bridge windows. Now, I don't remember, I'm sorry, I'm gonna immediately just start breaking things to your guys because this gives me the opportunity to test out some mods. If I take out my tools, I'm very curious. Do you have build states? Do you have like component costs and build states? Do you work in survival? Wow, that drilled down really fast. That's not a lot of components inside there either. So I wonder how this compares to normal Windows. Yeah, there's no build states, but it does look like it does take components. It probably works in survival. Already breaking things because they make great bridge windows. Obviously, they're called bridge windows. But they look really freaking cool. We used these on a space station that we built in the survival series on Sunday ages ago. Ages ago. But it does give you that kind of Star Wars-y bridge look, which I dig. So, let's open up some bay doors, shall we? Let's see, groups. I did have to make both these ship stations, if I didn't say that already, just to keep my frame rate high enough to do this, because that was a problem. Let's see. Oh, here's all the force fields. Let's turn all the force fields to closed and see if they pop up. Bottom, let's see, side and main force fields. Top hangar lights are on. Interesting. Let's see, main docking paired. Where's the main docking? Dun, 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 dun. Hangar bay doors. Open. Woot, 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 woot. We switch over to this. You can actually see them opening up. They open really fast. And we'll see the same mod in action on the other Venator. But there you go. There's the hangar bays opened up and ready to launch fighters into combat. I dig it. I dig it a lot. And we start zooming out, you can actually see how well that looks inside. You can see the force fields from here. Now, he's done a great job. If we zoom over here to the dark side of the ship, you can actually see the lights on there. It makes it look massive, like those are little windows or something. Very cool. What is he using? I think those are LCDs with, no, those are not LCDs. Those are glowing blocks. That's what those are. That's the glowing block mod. Man, some of these are like flashbacks from the past. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure that's what those are. All right, so let's get me unstuck from here and let's head on over to the other Venator. Acha! Teleport over here. Good grief, is this thing gorgeous. Now this is the one on the front page of the workshop. You don't know. I'll bring up the page again so you guys can find it. This is what the thumbnail, wait, one more. This is what the thumbnail looks like. It's KDY's work, excuse me, KDY's work. We've already looked at Sauron's. Sauron's was the small one in the middle. That would be that guy's. But the big one that's on the front page right now looks like this. KDY Shipyard says the Quat Drive Yards logo on it, and it's the most recent. Also to scale Venator. Oh man, as soon as you pop it in, you're probably gonna be feeling the pain. It's got the It's got the Republic logo there on the side, the laser cannons, the turbo laser cannons all the way down the length of it. Of course, you can look at the mods for this just by looking at the build for it. Let's go through the forest field here. And I love the lighting in this starboard side main hangar. You could easily fit an assault gunboat. The what's the Republic ship shuttle. It's kind of like the early Lambda, but it's like an assault ship. I think it's actually called the Now assault shuttle. It's a very cool looking ship. But you could easily fit one of those in here. I actually built one of those on stream once. I wonder if it would fit in here. We would need much more mods. That was a very heavily modded build though. Let's run back here and take a look around. The interior on this one and what is really fleshed out. Where does this go? Doesn't this just go back out? I have questions. Oh, it's a maintenance area. Now, the interior of this ship is really well fleshed out. Like, there's so much in here. It's nuts. Oh, it's a lifting area and storage area. Whoops. Those look like refineries in the back there. So, take us up. Oh, I like it. You could easily fit like a squadron of E2As down here if you wanted to. And it brings us back up to the hangar bay. Oh, that is awesome. All right, let's run around a bit more. So we went left last time and we went around in circles. Let's go left again, but this time let's go right. Let's go into the bowels of the ship as we look around. I could spend all day exploring this vessel, but I really want to get over to the hangar bay. So let's get over there and then we'll make our way hopefully to the bridge. Now, one of the mods that are in this, if I'm not mistaken, is he's using the Star Wars weapons, he's using the turbo laser mod, he's using retractable ramps, that's how the hangar's going to be looking. He's also using glowing blocks, interesting. There's a lot of crossover. Oh, he's not using it. I thought this one was using the maintenance tunnels, but apparently not. One of the other builds. And there is the hangar. My God, those doors are so slow. If I remember correctly, these force fields actually do work. They will hold in O2 if you're worried about it. We are on the bottom side of the ship, mind you. So we do have that like drop down hangar. Now he's left this one open where you could easily fit like a CR90 on the inside in here. Now setting this thing as a station seems like it's actually pretty functional. So we could have a battle around a Venator this scale if we really, really wanted to. I think it's questionable once the battle begins. And there is one part of the ship that I'm concerned about if we ever wanted to use it for like, you know, some crazy cool multiplayer battle. And I will show you guys that later. But huge hangar bay, not only like docking in here, but through here, you've got this massive space with tons of connector points that you could hook up anything you wanted. TIE fighters from the top if using the Armco mod, or you could do all kinds of nutty stuff. Let's jump up here. Looks like we're starting to head into the main maintenance bay and other storage area. This thing is built to, carry tons and tons of fighters. It has the space for it. It's also so big, the lighting doesn't know what it's doing in the distance. Let's run upstairs though and see the main area. Now I wonder, is there an elevator? There is a ramp. Okay, well we go up the ramp. Oh, it's the control room. It's the control room for the hangar down here. Cool. All right. So how do I get back upstairs? I was wondering if there's like there's obviously a hole here. I guess you just like fly the ships down here. Think of this as like an aircraft carrier storage bay. So the ships come landing down. Here's the main runway area. We'll go out into, whoop, I fell into a trench. This main like hangar runway area, which is, by the way, the top is closed right now. We need to go up to the bridge and open that. You land, you come in here, maybe sit down for repairs or go into storage mode, or like maybe the heavy maintenance bays, where they're gonna rip a ship completely into little pieces. You bring it down here and put it in storage. Very, very cool though. We'll fly the length of this so you guys can see how long the runway area is. And it does have the forward, we'll even open this bay door. Maybe. Nose hangar door. Activation failed. Interesting. Let's open up. We don't have to go all the way to the bridge. Let's open up the main hangar door. External port pistons. Excuse me. I'm too curious not to look now. I've activated the pit. Oh, that's amazing. He's got connectors on pistons so you can hook up and refuel, your hydrogen or whatever. I love it. I love it. And it's open to all of them too. That is really cool. There's a lot of functionality on this ship. I came in here for a reason, and it was to open the main hangar doors. Man, did I get distracted. All right, main turrets. Nope, got doors 1 through 4. Let's go ahead and open you guys up. I don't know what doors those are. Doors 1 through 4 isn't very descriptive. And I think these hangar doors were already open, weren't they? So who knows what we just opened? I actually don't know. All right, we're opening the main hangar door. Let's see, what did he call it? Ventral nose hangar door, open. There they go, they're actually open. I have no idea. We're just gonna continue past that. Atmospheric thrust assist system, if you wanna go into the atmosphere of a planet. Main hangar door, wood, open the main hangar door. Prepare to launch all fighters. Look at that runway strip. We're gonna just kind of back up slowly and take a look at how massive this thing is. How crazy is that? So you can come in there like full speed, land if need be. Or they don't even have to open the main hangar door if you're not trying to launch an entire squadron at once, and you can launch right out the front. All of those, like little control rooms for those forward hangars. And then you've got all of these. ARC 170s can fit in there easy, E2As probably. And then you get into the main doors. You're probably talking lats back here, full squadrons of like headhunters. Love it. Yeah, the coffee hunter could fit in one of those, no problem. All right, let's go through the main area. We opened up some main doors. Now look at this. Because this is so huge, normally you get the port and starboard doors here and here on the other builds that you see, but in this one, you actually have to go down like 2 floors to get to the port and starboard hangar bays. All right, so we're still floating around. Let's float through the front. Let's head up to the bridge, take a look at it. I don't actually know how to get to the bridge. I know there's an elevator mod in this, so I wonder, he's already used it a few times. How do we get to the top? This is an elevator down. This place is such a labyrinth. And that brings you down to the bottom hangar base. Whoa, there's the slowdown right there. Could you even imagine using this in combat? I'm pretty sure it'd be pure chaos. The game just couldn't handle it. It'd drop your FPS down to nothing. Still gorgeous. Well, before we get to the bridge, I'm gonna go into spectator mode because I want to show you guys one thing, and this is what gives me a little bit of pause for using this in combat. Oh, look at the little bits of detail on it though. So this angle right here isn't an angle you can normally pull off, especially with blocks like this. You can't pull this angle off in Space Engineers without doing some trickery. What trickery did they use? Well, I bet you can already guess if you've ever seen me do a spotlight before. Rotors, blocks, and locking into place with landing gear. So, if any damage is done to this area, you can imagine the kind of damage this ship would do to itself if it was mobile and moving. Using it as like a space station probably means it's not going to be that big of a deal. And you basically have to if you don't want it to lag up. But yeah, landing gear, that's going to cause some problems. But it does give the ship an amazing level of like freaking detail. Look at that. By the way, here's the view I was talking about. There's like a whole crew quarters back here and like living area. But inside here, let's go forward a little bit, is a perspective. Okay, it's really dark. We're going to use our godlike powers. Move this around a bit. There we go. You can actually see the cannons from the windows. So from like a combat perspective, if we do like a machinima or something with this, yeah, we'll be able to see it firing. And here's the one I was actually looking for, because this one doesn't have that blue tint. It doesn't have the hologram. Not the hologram, the force fields. Yeah, you can see the cannons out there. Imagine like a Providence class on the other side and this thing pounding away at it. We might give that a go. We might try it. Not in this video. That's a whole like day's worth of recording and editing, but there you are. So, Venators, guys. We're gonna jump up to the bridge before we do our little outro. Venators. There's a huge, oh my God, it looks so pretty. Holy shit. Yep, there's the way up. Who knows how to get up here properly? I'll have to do some more exploring. But Venators, there's a ton of them, different versions, people's different creative concepts on how to make one in Space Engineers. This is just 3 of the examples. There are many more out there. If you've got a favorite that I didn't mention, drop me a comment. Let me know what it's called so I can look it up on the Steam Workshop. I'm very interested. Space Engineers has come a hell of a long way since its release like 6 years ago when we first started making videos on it, where we dreamed about having ships this size in the game to actually be able to like handle it in any way, let alone have 3 of them standing next to each other. Even if I have to make them a space station. It's still pretty impressive. There's the hangar bay. Imagine the fighters launching out the front of it. Very cool. All right, everybody, if you enjoyed this spotlight, let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see next. If you'd like to see another like collection series like this, I enjoy checking these out. One of the fun things about it is I find either old mods that still work and surprise me, or new mods and new ways of using the current the blocks that we have access to as they are now. I saw some very interesting ways of detailing a ship on this one. I absolutely love what he's done with the little greebling bits. I'm sure Tex would like that too. Those are jump drives down there, stuck in the hull. Wow. Gotta remember that if we ever do anything with this. Don't turn the jump drive explosion mod on. This thing would go up like a Roman candle. All right, everybody. See you in the next one. Later.